Well, hey there. Welcome back to Singing News TV. I'm Joseph Reed. I am so excited to be here at the National Quartet Convention. Is this day 5? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? Day 5. I done Common Core math there, figured it out quick. We're here at the beautiful LeConte Center, and I am thrilled about the guests coming in and out. We're just sharing some great stories, talking to some friends about their music, and learning a lot about great artists. This is an artist that some of you may not know, but they have been, listen, they have already started putting their fingerprints on this industry with great success. They've sung at major events all across this country. They promote gospel music in their area. And I feel like anytime that they're, in a lot of these large events, because the promoters want to spotlight up and coming talent, they will have a showcase. An artist will perform, and then there'll be a panel of industry judges that will select someone to go to the main stage to sing at that event. These guys probably have held the record of the most main stage wins, and this ain't a joke. There's got to be a record, and if there is, they hold it. It seems like anywhere that I've worked that there is one of those, these guys head to the main stage. Fantastic. We've got 3 out of the 4 of Phillips and Banks. Welcome to the Singing News Studios here at the LeConte Center.
Thank you, Joseph.
Hey, pull that mic up there.
Thank you,
Act
Joseph.
like you enjoy it. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Well, glad to have you here. We actually met about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And you guys, I didn't even know it, but I know your dad.
Yep.
Don't know how I didn't know you.
Yep.
You guys are from the same town that I was born and raised in, Bristol, Tennessee.
Oh, yes.
Shout out
Woo!
to the Twin Cities.
Yeah, Bristol Motor Speedway,
Yep.
birthplace of country music.
Yes.
So
yes.
we got that going for us.
That's right. And my dad was a chaplain at the Speedway for many years.
Yeah.
He knows your dad.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow we never crossed paths. Or I'm sure we were in service together.
Probably
but we
so.
just didn't know it.
I was
Probably
probably
better.
asleep on the pews.
Yeah, we were. And then in older, when we were teenagers, glad we wasn't together because we'd have been in jail, obviously. So
Yeah, we would have.
ain't either one of us have any sense.
Oh, that's true.
But Phillips and Banks, talented people, man, and they, your wife is not here. It's 2 couples, and she is taking care of things at the booth because it's busy around here. So many people.
Oh, yeah.
That are here. The fans from all over the world literally are here at this event. And while we're in here talking, out there, the hallways are full of people. It's hard to even walk through at the ultimate fan event, the National Quartet Convention. So we miss Carmen, your lovely wife.
Yeah.
But we do have 3 out of 4, which ain't bad.
Right.
I want you to tell us, dude. Tell us about your group, but first introduce yourself and these 2 people beside you.
Sure. So I'm Jacob Phillips, and you already mentioned my wife, Carmen. We have a 10-year-old daughter. Her name is Olivia. And this guy down here on the end is my best friend in the whole world. His name is Caleb Banks, and this is his wife, Autumn Banks.
That's me.
And so we've been singing for about 7 years, and God has really blessed us and opened up a lot of doors. We're thankful anywhere we get to go and sing and share our music, and most of all, our stories about what God has done in our lives. And so we're from Bristol, as far northeast in Tennessee as you can go, and you'll find us.
That's right. If you walk down State Street, one side of State Street downtown is Tennessee. The other side of State Street is Virginia. It's amazing.
It's so cool.
It
is. I went
Yeah.
down there just to straddle the middle line.
Yeah, if you do that and break the law, where are they going to put you?
Exactly.
Why are we talking about breaking laws?
I don't know.
We don't break laws.
Okay.
Oh, man. When I get with people I know, it just goes off the rails here. I've had to put up with Jeff Easter for an hour before y'all got here. I ain't worth a dime.
I was just thinking, Brandy's sitting at the house right now going, oh, my Lord.
Oh, my wife, Brandy, she's probably tuning in praying. She's in sackcloth and ashes right now.
She's a prayer warrior, brother.
You know what I love about you guys is when you go on stage, it just feels ministry minded. to where, yes, there's the entertainment factor with gospel music because you have to entertain people. There is the vocal talent that you have. You have great harmony, just great harmony together. But right there in the middle of that, you can see that ministry where you are a preacher's kid, where you guys have been born and raised, singing and working for the Lord. It really comes through. So I want you to tell me, you personally, Jacob, what inspired you to sing Southern gospel music?
Wow. Well, first of all, I was raised on it. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember being in church, and we'd have all these groups come into the church, and I'd look up there and I'd see these people and they're singing gospel music. I love to sing. I never dreamed I'd be doing this, but I love to sing growing up. And I remember my mom, she'd take me to these little fifth Sunday night singings at these churches.
Boy, that's how I cut my teeth in gospel music.
She'd put me up there, and my voice hadn't changed, and I was singing as high as a soprano. Yeah, exactly. And I'd get up there and sing, and my mom is the most blunt and honest person that you'll ever meet in your life.
Amen,
And she'd be sitting out there in the audience, and I'd always know when I got back to my pew if I had done good or not. 'Cause she'd look at me and she'd be, doing this number here. She'd look at me and go, like that right there,
She still does that.
Isn't that amazing? Because isn't it true, though, that
I need that. We all need that. We all
it?
need honesty,
Oh, my mother is brutally honest like that. She's like, Jay, you didn't have it. You didn't have it. She
Yeah.
called me Jay.
Thanks, Mom. I was just praying for the offering. But
Son, didn't I teach you to pray?
Yeah.
My mom was like that, but it is rare because, family tends to just want to encourage you, and there's nothing wrong with that. Oh,
Yeah.
honey, you've done so good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to have that, it's some tough love, I guess. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
Caleb has a little bit of a different background in gospel music because his dad and his uncles, they all traveled as a bluegrass gospel family group.
What was their name?
It was the Banks brothers.
Okay.
And so they traveled for years in that region doing bluegrass gospel music.
Very
and
popular there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's sitting on the back porch with a banjo.
That's
beneath
right.
Tennessee,
It's a
so-
shame.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I love banjo.
but anyway, so
Banjo gets a bad rap. Let's just talk about it.
And-
So go ahead.
I was just going to say, the girls, they didn't have much of a background in Southern gospel music. I mean, they loved it, but not as far as really singing it until we got together about 7 years ago.
Did you find it a challenge when you started singing to sing Southern gospel music or harmony, or did it come natural to you?
I mean, I feel like all four of us it really did just come naturally. We spent a lot of time in a theater setting.
Okay,
So
that's right.
we were really used to singing with each other even and working out parts and just kind of arranging stuff ourselves. And so it's almost like it came pretty easy for us in terms of the musicality of it.
Yeah.
And I think the camaraderie you had as two couples who were close friends helped you feel comfortable with each other.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
oh yeah, we still hate each other.
I can't imagine.
kidding.
Honestly, I can't. I'm just so thankful, honestly, that I get to do this with my wife, first of all.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
great.
I don't have to get on a bus every weekend and leave my family behind and
Right. Yeah.
then come,
Really.
back and see them on Monday. I get to travel with not only my wife, but my best friends. And, it's just, it's good. It's good. We love each other.
We
We
do.
do love each
We
other.
love
Yeah.
the Lord.
Jacob and I think me and you fight more than you and Carmen do.
We do. There are times, but, we love each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We make up.
It's something you were talking about being on the. That is something I feel very blessed to get to be with Autumn and get to hang out with Jacob and Carmen and even Olivia. I say it takes a village to raise that kid, but honestly, we just love her. I mean, she's just like she's one of our own. But that's something, Joseph. Not to throw a lot of attention to you either, but something I just got to experience a little while back was to see a video of you and Brandy leading worship at your church.
Okay.
And man, it was so cool to see you guys together in that aspect. It really blessed me, man. It just, and I can see when she comments on your post, sometimes it's hilarious, but you can always tell, like, that's your encourager, man.
Let me explain something to you, dude. My wife is the greatest human being that I know. And, we say that about our spouses and things, and I get it. But she always sees the best in people.
Yeah.
She is never judgmental. She keeps me balanced, which is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Which, as you know, as my friend, oh my goodness, is not easy to do. But I appreciate you saying that. And when I grew up, I started in radio in 1987. I was a teenager in Southern Gospel Radio. That's where I fell in love with this music genuinely, because we used to listen to radio, Grand Ole Opry, then we'd listen to local Southern Gospel radio. But when I heard, when I was a kid, this is embarrassing. When I was a kid, I would hear the singing cooks on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean a little kid. I would think they were at the station singing live.
Yeah.
And but I didn't know, how that worked. I just thought they were all, and then they would say, here's another group, because I grew up listening to the Grand Ole Opry so much and how they just went from group to group live. I thought that's the way radio was.
Oh, okay.
So it's really crazy. I'd hear the singing cooks, and then I'd hear, the Seago Brothers and Naomi, the Harvesters, Hopper Brothers and Connie, my first concert I ever went to.
Nice.
And I'm just thought, when I was listening to Gold City Double Take Live and the Kingsman Live stand up at Opryland, that I was going to sing this music. And that's what my aspirations were.
Yeah.
And I have been fortunate enough to do that. I've been able to fill in for the Perrys. I've been able to fill in with other groups nationally. I've toured as a regional artist full time in this music, and so I have been able to do that. But primarily broadcasting and radio has been. It was just kind of like the thing that I've done, but I've been able to live my dream too.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you mentioning that, because my wife is a fantastic singer. We enjoy leading worship. I've been
incredible, man.
I've been on the pastoral staff in Nashville for 17 years, and we love our church, Point of Mercy, and the reason we do what we do is to encourage the believer.
Absolutely.
Just like you say, you were encouraged by that video, and then to attract the non-believer to a relationship with Christ through what we're doing.
Well, and when we go and do a concert, I mean, you were talking about the ministry mindedness of what we do. We really view the music, as you said, there is a certain entertainment aspect to what we do, and we get that. We understand that. And we love music, and we don't know what else to do but to sing. It's like that's all we're good at. But we do. We also want to share our stories of what God has done, and we see the music as a vehicle to bring people in close, allow them to let their guard down a little bit, and let them have a good time, but at the same time to say, hey, this is what God has done in our lives. And, Caleb may want to share this, but I mean, we have two totally, I tell them everywhere we go, we're all different. You may have grown up Pentecostal, and I may have grown up, she grew up Baptist, and
Shocker.
We all are different, but we're all the same. We all need Jesus. You may have a different testimony than me, and I may have a different one than you, but we all need the Lord. I grew up a preacher's kid, and my dad's been a preacher my whole life. And for the longest time, I had these plaques, I'll never forget it, and they were hanging in my room. And it was like, all the books of the Bible in order, and all the 12 apostles, and this, and I would look at those plaques and I would think, gosh, man, I've got it going on. My dad's a pastor, and my mom's a Sunday school teacher, and my grandfather was a deacon. I mean, I thought I had it together. And then one day I was about 15 years old, and the Lord spoke to me, and I realized for the first time that I had a lot of knowledge about Jesus, and I knew a lot of things about the Lord, but I had confused religious activity with a relationship with God. And when I finally surrendered my life to the Lord, He changed me forever. And that's why we do what we do, is because we want to share stories like that. And Caleb has an incredible story of being set free. Why don't you tell him just a little bit?
Well, and I'll just, 14 years ago, I was a drug addict. I was alcoholic, absolute train wreck. And I grew up in church. My mom and dad made sure I was there. Like Jacob said, my whole family sang gospel music. My papa was an old-timey preacher. You know, the ones that just climbed the pews, and you just wondered what they were walking on Sunday.
Like Brother Bab up there. Just shout out, Brother Bab.
Yeah, Brother Bab.
So, you know, I fell into a life of addiction, just trying to fill a void, and just, it's just a terrible time in my life. And I remember the day I got saved, I was working out of town, so I kind of had it hid from everybody. And nothing incredible was going on at church. That's something I hope that people grasp a hold of when they hear my story. I don't know if they expect God to just peel back the rooftop and be like, hey. It doesn't happen like that sometimes. It does sometimes. If I ever saw it, I probably wouldn't be here. I'd be dead.
Right.
But the church I grew up in, I woke up early on a Sunday morning, which was unusual for me. Went to church, normal. Hey, Brother Caleb, they've known me since I was a baby. And I walked in, I sat a couple pews from the front, and I knew what was going on in my life, Joseph. I knew what I was doing was wrong. But I was sitting there, and I think the pastor was giving announcements. I don't know if you know Johnny Gibson out of Kingsport. I figured, yeah. And all of a sudden, for the first time in my life, I experienced true conviction. I felt the Lord saying, Caleb, you don't know me. Scared me to death. I got up to leave. I said, but when I got to the end of the pew, it seemed like a football field length, and I kept saying, Lord, you know what I've got planned to do when I leave here today. You know what I'm going to do that I have to do to function. I can't fight these battles, you know. And I remember this peace came over me, and I remember just like it was the day it happened. The Lord spoke to me, no, you can't, but I can. And so the day I knelt down at that altar, all I could get out to, by that time, I'd caused a commotion because I was walking to the front and nothing was even going on, just announcements. And I just remember turning to my pastor saying, I need help. And when I knelt down, Jesus met me there. He was already talking to me and walking with me there. But he saved me. He cleaned me up. It didn't mean it was easy when I left there that day, but when I stood up and I turned around, my entire congregation was gathered around the front praying over me. And I've never forgot that. And so I hope that through the music or through something we share, the first thing I want people to know is they're not alone. There's people all around you who has been through it or are going through it, and they're fighting the same battle every day. And I just hope that they're encouraged that they can come past that through the help of the Lord. He can deliver you.
And they are living proof, just as that story tells us of what God can do. And that's their new album. It just came out days ago. It's called Living Proof. It's Phillips and Banks. You can stream it wherever you stream your favorite music, and you can pick up your physical copy at phillipsandbanks.com. You can find them on social media, Facebook. Connect with them on there. Thank you for sharing. So I wish we had all the time in the world, but you've really encouraged me with that. Caleb, thank you for sharing it, and I appreciate your friendships, and thank you for being here today.
We love you, buddy.
We love you. Phillips and Banks, I'm Joseph Reed. This is Singing News.